So I just got back from seeing the new Fantastic Four in theaters, and if you're new to this channel, we do honest reviews. I'm not doing any crazy edits or clickbait to try to make you stay or watch. This is just me talking and telling you guys like it is and if this movie's worth watching. It's kind of tough for me to do these reviews for something like Marvel because there's hundreds of other people making reviews. I'm guessing this will probably get around 100 views, so if you're one of those 100, say hey in the comment section and we can talk about movies if you'd like. If you're like me, then you've probably heard about how this is finally the Fantastic Four that they got right. And you've probably heard that this is the best Marvel movie in years and the perfect lead up to Avengers Doomsday. But if you are like me, then you also didn't believe any of that crap. That's to say, many went into this movie with high expectations while I kept mine managed. This is Disney we're talking about. Disney. I know some people are still holding on hope, but this is a company that ruins everything they touch. However, regardless of my predetermined dislike for Marvel in the years post-Endgame, I really went into this movie with an open mind. And I'll say this, it was a solid surprise because this movie was actually entertaining, so I think it's the right thing to do to start with the positives before I get into the real negatives here. This movie was the least cookie-cutter Marvel project we've gotten in years, in terms of visuals and story. While yes, superhero movie third acts are all the same nowadays, something I'll talk about later in this video, their narrative structure felt intentional. Like this felt like it was one director's vision for a movie, not corporate slop like something like Brave New World. The 60s style worked and it was cool to see. It's just nice seeing Fantastic Four driving around and saving people and using their powers. They're cool characters. Visually, it's some of the best work in all of Marvel, with shots that feel like it really is a comic book come to life. There's some amazing CGI, especially the sequence in the second act in space. At the end of the day, this was an entertaining movie with good action. However, it does have its faults. The chemistry between the four actors is good and fun to watch. However, the individual characters feel dialed back, especially Reed. Like we barely even get to see him stretch. While it's a film that has a good amount of style, it surprisingly lacks character and personality. Pascal's Reed Richards is meek, and it doesn't feel like he's the leader of the group. His tone is just so shifted down. You know who does feel like the real leader of the group? Sue, which is classic. Johnny obviously is not the Human Torch we all know and love, and even an actor as likable as Joseph Quinn couldn't save him. It's the best we're gonna get from a 2025 Disney film. Like there's a hint of charm, but it's not fully there. The Thing was fine and Sue was fine. It just felt like they dialed back all their characters' personalities. It's just so funny to me how people are calling this the perfect lead up to Avengers Doomsday when there's zero MCU world building here. Zero. We have no idea why they're even in the 60s, no idea how any of it connects to the rest of the MCU. Now I'm sure they'll explain it in Doomsday, but unless that movie is 3 hours long, it's gonna be rushed. Every Marvel project feels disconnected from each other post-Endgame, but they trick you into thinking they're connected because they show it in a post-credit scene. Like how about make the actual movie connect with others, not just the post-credit scene? That's not really a knock on this movie, just more of a knock on Marvel itself. But that's why I say this movie played it safe. It's a simple story, and although it has fewer eye-roll moments than usual, it still feels predictable. And I think that's just superhero fatigue. Like, we know they're gonna defeat the villain at the end of the movie, we know none of them are gonna die. It just makes the third act a little lame. Like, their first encounter with Galactus is way better than the end of the movie. The first and second half of the movie is better than the third act, period. And I don't mean to sound so negative, like they still know how to make something that's mostly entertaining, but it's nothing to me that makes me say wow, like how most reviews are framing it. Look, there's nothing crazy here, and while there are good visuals and action, the story is mostly lackluster. Basically, the Avatar 3 trailer was the best part about the theater. However, I do say it's worth watching in theaters as it will help hit harder, but this is nothing you need to rush to see. I'm giving this a 3.5 out of 5 stars, which again, if you know my thoughts about Marvel recently, then you know this is a solid score, and maybe even half a star more than it should be. And here are my updated rankings for 2025. If you guys are curious, you could check out my Letterboxd page, but let me know in the comments your rating and what you thought, and we could talk.